Hello everybody and welcome to Bailey's in Wild. This is episode 12 of our boat restoration series. It is a cold November afternoon. I'm shivering. It's freezing. I can't wait to get inside the boat. Right, so the last episode we finished the companionway hatch, which looks amazing by the way. Turning up to the boat and being able to see it from the ground is amazing. I can't wait to go up and have a closer look. In the end of the last episode, throughout the last episode really, I was talking about wanting to get the inside cleaned and mould free and sorted for when we start to actually work on the inside of the boat, so it's all just bing ready for us to start reimagining our ideas and putting them into action. We didn't get the chance to do that because we ran out of time. However, we are going to do that today. It's the main thing of what we're going to do today because I really would like the inside clean and tidy before we start working on it. We are going to temporarily seal up the anchor locker with tape. We asked for all of your advice and in the last episode, and the amount of advice we got about both the anchor locker and the stove that we have, invaluable advice. We've made decisions based on the advice that we've gotten. Thank you so very much. It's brilliant. So yeah, we're going to temporarily seal up the anchor lock with tape. And speaking of decisions made, the stove, we've decided we're going to just get a camping gas stove. So the oven that we've got will probably be up for sale at some point if anybody wants one. But yeah, thank you again for the advice. It was really helpful. We wouldn't have been able to figure all that stuff out. Some people went in extreme detail. It was brilliant. Thank you. Also, something really cool that happened. We have internet friends, a channel called Ruffly Adventuring, who we've known of since we started the channel. They've been really supportive and lovely throughout our YouTube journey, I suppose, and we sat down to catch up with their videos a couple days ago and found that they'd shouted us out on one of their videos. So we're going to do the same. So go and follow Ruffly Adventuring. They're a couple who travel Scotland and in their camper van, and it's a really lovely channel. They show Scotland in such a beautiful light. It's made us really excited to go one day. So go and follow them and watch the videos. I'm sure the link will be somewhere on the screen and it'll be down in the description as well. So without further ado, I'm gonna go up to the boat. I'm gonna get some electric on so that we can put on a heater because it's cold and we want to dry out the boat as much as possible. I'm gonna be getting rid of mould and cleaning things and scraping things, and hopefully as well, if we've got time, we want to test the wind turbine and the solar panel as well, make sure that we're actually getting readings off of them. So that's something to look forward to. But yeah, let's get on with it. Typically, because it's Wales, we get onto the boat and it starts pouring it down. It's stopping now. I think it was just a shower, but we're inside the boat. That's why we wanted to get the deck work done. A perfect example. Yeah. In here, there's wood on the floor. It's not actually as wet as I thought it was. There was water all along the floor here, in all of these little crevices, which is great if it's finding its way out, but I think, yeah, the top of the boat is full of condensation, which does show that it's, yeah, it's obviously getting warm in here, and which is I'm going to take as a sign that it's sealed properly. Granted, the ankle locker isn't sealed yet, but if all of the water off the floor has kind of tried to evaporate, I mean, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to try and get rid of the water. I'm going to sponge up what's left. I think there's quite a big puddle of water in the bathroom that I need to get rid of. But other than that, it's just going to be a bunch of scraping and a bunch of scrubbing, to be honest. We are going to test a few electrical things as well, like I mentioned earlier, but for purposes of not sounding like a broken record, I'm not going to go into deeper detail of that. But yeah, it doesn't particularly matter if the rain stays away because we're inside now, but still.
Out there alone on the highway, she had a broken wing she's trying to hide, and I was much too old to act on the feeling. But then again, I ain't never had someone to hold. I wrote songs for a mockingbird, take 'em all, leave 'em, I know that she heard. Songs for a mockingbird, looking at me, she sang every word. Songs for a mockingbird, oh, you give and you take and you live and you learn. Songs for a mockingbird. Room for love on a mountain of lights. I wrote songs for a mockingbird, take 'em all, leave 'em, I know that she heard. Songs for a mockingbird, looking at me, she sang every word. Songs for a mockingbird, oh, how could you fake it, is that what you were? Songs for a mockingbird, oh.
We've gotten rid of some of the pieces of wood in here, and we've kept a couple of them because we're not sure if they're templates or not, but I reckon we're probably going to get rid of those too. These big planks of wood, they don't seem to have a lot of mould on them, weirdly, so we're going to wipe those down and take them home and then use them intermittently whenever we need to use them for the boat, because they seem to be in pretty good condition, to be honest. And then we just need to get scrubbing, really. There isn't... Now that we're in here, there's a lot that needs doing, but when we're at the boat, it all feels more possible, if that makes sense. There's a lot of scraping, a lot of scrubbing, and a lot of mould to get rid of, but... Yeah. Once we get these pieces of wood out, anyway, there should be more room. But yeah, the rain is also very lovely once you're not in it.
made progress. Still I feel this hunger, like the journey just begun. It's the storm inside that's breaking my heart each morning while it keeps it going. It's been driving my life into both joy and sorrow, and there's still a long way to go.
Alright, so we've just come back from having a bit of lunch. We've eaten outside in the rain, mostly, because we're still a bit nervous about eating in here with all the mould and everything. I've gotten rid of the mouldy wood that was sat here underneath my feet, and all of the wood that was lent up against here where I'm sat currently is in the car. It's been cleaned, it's in the car, ready to be taken home. We've got heat and light in here now, and there's a lot more space than there was previously, so it is starting to feel nicer. It's getting darker now, but considering we've got heat and light, we should be able to keep going for longer than we would ordinarily. So there's a lot of work to do in here. I'm going to continue with cleaning and scrubbing. I want to try and use a sponge and get rid of as much of the condensation as possible. Clean the mould and stuff off of every single surface I can see it. Yeah, we do have plans for the boat, which I'd like to talk about a little bit. Currently behind where the camera is now was where all of the previous equipment was when we first got the boat. There are shelves underneath it, but we're probably going to just block all of that off and use it as a complete, just forgetting the word that I want to use, navigation. And we want to have a navigation desk there as well. So that's going to be done. Here where I'm sat, there's going to be seating. It's going to be one of the berths, because we need 3 ideally. One of the berths, and then there's going to be bookshelves and things and storage here. There's going to be under seating storage as well. We also, we need to panel up the floor as well, because it needs a better floor. We want to elongate the one of the berths as well. Again, where the camera is a rather short-ish berth. That's where I'm going to sit. Thankfully, I'm not that long, so it shouldn't be difficult, but we want to extend it to where this partition is in where the kitchen is. So that should be longer. We are also very, very later down the line, but we want a photo of the cast of Firefly up as well, because we're nerds. So that's going to happen eventually. I'm quite excited about that one. But yeah, unfortunately, before we can get onto all of that stuff, it's going to require a lot of scrubbing and a lot of sanding in here. We'll try not to show you all of it, and it won't be today, but there is going to have to be a lot of sanding in here. Lots of sanding. Yeah. We want to carpet the roof. I'm not entirely sure how we're going to run all of the electrics underneath it, but we'll have to figure that out when we get to it. Yeah, there's so much stuff that needs doing in here. We're also going to try and take the cooker home as well. There's not a lot of space in the car, so it's going to be a bit of a jangle to try and figure out which way around we want to get everything, but we are going to try and take it home so we can clean it up and sell it, essentially. We aren't going to need it, I don't reckon. So yeah, that's going to get done. I'm going to get a mask on so that I can start tackling all of this mould, just so that we're, safer. There is still some mouldy wood in the V-berth as well, but they're all cut to shapes that we know we're going to need. So we're going to keep those in there for now. And yeah, the electrics as well. We're probably going to have to test the electrics tomorrow. There isn't a lot of sun anymore and there isn't any wind, so we're not going to be able to test the wind turbine or solar panel. We're also, speaking of wires, going to basically rip out as many of these as we possibly can. These, I mean, first of all, we don't really know what they do or where they go. Secondly, we can't guarantee that they're going to be any good for use anyway. The wires that we've encountered so far that we've had to replace, they've all been really, really mouldy, essentially. They're awful, and we can't guarantee that any of the, if we don't replace wires later down the line, we can't guarantee that we aren't going to have to replace them anyway, if that makes any sense. They also used a lot of house wire in here as well. So we are going to have to replace it, and it's better to just start afresh. We're going to make a tally of all the things that are going to need electrical power, navigation lights and mast lights and anything that we can possibly remember that's going to need power. We're just going to replace all the wiring anyway. So all the wire that's in here currently is going to get taken out. But as of right now, I'm going to get my mask on and I'm going to tackle as much mould as I can possibly see. Yeah. It's nice being able to sit here though.
You've got me questioning my position. Am I just filling out? Taking space, not with as much grace. Am I a second choice of all not a Rolls Royce? Dresses and lace help me now. If it's not my business, then whose? When it's up to you to choose. Strong flowers at the market, let her have her shot. I can't respect one woman to another, but we all work hard to be our best, replica or not. Oh, make no mistake, I know my worth, but it's this game chase thirst. Not hers, not mine, or even his. We are prisoners in this.
Okay, it's very, very dark now. It's bonfire night and we want to go see some fireworks, so we're going to go and do that. We're going to come back tomorrow because it's never just a one-day job with us. We're going to come back tomorrow and we're going to continue cleaning and scrubbing. I want to tackle the V-berth as well. But in here looks so much better than it did when we turned up. The heater has worked wonders actually. From where it's sat, it's completely dried. Like a little oval of where it's been sat. It's completely dried that, and most of the condensation that I was whinging about this morning is completely dissipated, I suppose. So that's worked wonders. We'll definitely be bringing that back. These lights have helped as well massively. We definitely wouldn't have been able to continue as far as we have without them. Battery. Yeah. It seems to have a bit of charge in it, the battery does. Probably going to take that out because we want to paint the battery tray where it's sat. Because as soon as the battery tray is painted and sorted, we can start actually mounting electrical systems and actually testing if they work. So that's probably going to get done sooner rather than later. But essentially, that's it for today, basically. like I said, we're going to come back and we're going to attack it with full force cleaning again. And I'm glad that we have, because it is looking better. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Arrivederci. Welcome to day 2. I nearly said 3. It's day 2. We seem to have had a bit of a break in the weather, but it was raining 10 minutes ago. I don't expect it to stay sunshiny because the forecast says it's supposed to rain quite heavily. But weather doesn't matter because we are inside the boat today. Mum, just before we hit record, Mum described boat building as like den building. When she was a kid in the 80s and 90s, she spent a lot of time out in woodland and wilderness and things like that, and she'd build like dens with friends and things. And building the boat, especially now we're inside of it, feels a lot like that. More expensive, and we've got a lot of tools and things, but it feels like that. It's a similar feeling. Plan for today, I'm going to be cleaning a lot more. I need to wipe this wall behind me. It needs a sand, really, but I'm going to give it a wipe down anyway. Cupboard in the bathroom needs a clean on the inside because there's a lot of mould there. I need to get rid of the condensation with a sponge on the roof. I know I said yesterday that it was mostly gone because of the heater, but I still want to sponge it off and make sure. And then I really do need to tackle the bathroom and the rebirth. It's going to be harder for me to film in there because there's not a lot of space, and Mum is going to have to evacuate once I start tackling in there as well. She, I mean, bit of perspective, she's had multiple bilateral pulmonary embolisms multiple times now, blood clots in both lungs. She's had pneumothorax, asthma, and she breaks her ribs regularly, and pleurisy, and she really doesn't need any more chest problems. So she's going to evacuate and hopefully sit in the sunshine that will hopefully stay out there while I tackle the rebirth. And yeah, we are going to try and test. We're going to try and test electrical systems today. Obviously weather dependent. There's not a lot of wind, so I don't know if we're going to be able to test the wind turbine, but if the sunshine stays out, we should be able to test the solar panel, so that's good. But essentially, yeah, the video today now is going to be inside. There's water in the bathroom as well, under the floor panels. There's water that I'm going to have to pump out manually with a bilge pump. And I don't know if there's any stagnant water in the rebirth either. I think there is. But I'm going to need to tackle that as well. I've got better spray at least. I've got better spray, the one that tackles black mold specifically. I didn't yesterday, so that should be easier. I'm going to have to wear a mask as well. But yes, that's the plan. She's coming along nicely. She feels better coming into her today than she did yesterday, so progress. Yeah. Oh yeah. Here, we are most likely not going to have these electrical systems coming through here. We're going to use this as a big storage cupboard. It needs sealing because I can see the anchor locker, not the anchor locker, the locker. And I can see the bilge pump there. So it's going to need sealing, but we're going to use that as a really big cupboard as well. I do want to go into a bit more detail a little bit later on about what our plans are for in here. But at the moment, I think I'm just going to get on with cleaning, and then I can sit down later when I need some lunch and discuss that with you properly. So I'm going to get on. Okay, just to interrupt whatever I was just talking about, some of the through holes here I need to ask questions about. Most of them we know what they're for. Like, I'll just switch the camera really, really quickly. That one I know is for the exhaust. That one, and there's another one to match on the other side, is for drainage in the cockpit. That one here, again, matches on the other side, I think is for the manual bilge pump. There's these two, which are the intake and outtake for the toilet, and then there's the drainage holes, I don't know if you can see that, one on either side for the anchor locker. There's this one here, I don't know what that one does. It looks like an intake of some kind, but I have absolutely no idea what it is. There's this one here as well. This one leads right into the main part of the cabin. It looks like a pump of some kind, we can show you in a minute, but I have no idea what that one's for either. And if I just go back to the back of the boat, there is another one that kind of looks like another intake valve, maybe for the engine, we think, but again, we're not entirely sure. We know that some of the people who follow us do have Cobras, so if anybody does know what they're for, please let us know.
Nothing is forever, you're so keen on telling me. Everybody's worried, saying that I'm in too deep. Keep it all together, move on to bigger things. Chasing all the highs, 'cause I'm not giving up my dream. No, I'm not giving up my dream. Although you don't believe
End of the day now. We were going to sweep up and we were going to test the solar panel and wind turbine, which I know I've mentioned a few times now, but we're unable to. First of all, it's dark. Can't really test the solar panel with no light, and again, it's not windy, so can't test the wind turbine either. And as for sweeping up, I mean, it's late, we're tired. As much as we try and be happy and bouncy and things, we are gonna have to call it quits today, now. Mum's not doing very well. She's very, very tired, and yeah, I mean, as much as we try our hardest to get as much work done as we possibly can, health does come first, and there are 2 of us that have chronic illnesses that we have to pay attention to. So when body starts shouting at you to slow down, you have to listen to it. You've got no choice. So we're going to do that. We're going to get her home. It's raining. It's been sunny for most of the day, but typically just as we're about to start unloading all of the electrical gear, it starts raining. We have, just to recap what's happened, we have taken out pretty much every single piece of mouldy, loose wood that we could find. With the V-berth, we were initially just going to take out the top pieces of wood and redo those with balsa wood templates. But we ended up finding a very surprise piece of the V-berth that was filled with water. We got rid of that. And we've taken out some of the front panels as well in the V-berth, and we're just going to redo it all. We weren't comfortable with the idea of leaving it when we knew it was all mouldy and rotten. So we're just going to redo all of that. We've taken out the water that was kind of stagnant in the bathroom. We've got rid of the pieces of wood there as well. We've gotten rid of these wires behind me. They were completely loose and just doing nothing in the bathroom. So they've been taken out now. We also took out wires that were going to the V-berth and doing nothing as well. We've taken those out. Yeah, we've taken out a lot of wires. There's some white thing that we found just there underneath where the bilge pump is that we don't know what that does or what it is even. There's a big clump, there's a mass, I think I could probably call it, of wires in some kind of switch configuration that looks like it was, I mean, it was mounted. We took it off. It was mounted on the wall. That's going to need all taking out and ripping up because we have no idea what it's for or where they go and things like that. We found 2 pieces of coaxial wire that are attached to a couple bolts as well that just go through the hull. We don't know what they do or what they were for. I know that, I mean, I don't know how long this video is going to be. And I know that watching me scrub and get rid of mould and pieces of wood isn't the most interesting thing to watch, but it's small jobs like these that do add up, and in the long run it will definitely matter. I mean, we've gotten rid of loads of big pools of water, and over time, now that that's done, we'll be able to bring the heater every time we come and just get rid of the moisture out of the fibreglass that seems to not want to really go away. We'll bring like a hairdryer or something just to heat it up a little bit and just get rid of the water. But getting rid of the big pools of water will definitely help with that. Every time we come to the boat, it makes us feel energized. When we're sat at home, it's really, really easy to feel kind of downtrodden with how far we've still got to go. But then we'll turn up at the boat and do a day's work, however interesting that job ends up being. It almost reinvigorates us. It's a good feeling. It's really, really good feeling. And we are definitely further than we were, especially just at the beginning of this video. When we first got Firefly and she was sat on the Conway River, the first time we saw her, she was, loads of water, just in this part of the saloon. There was loads of water that I had to pump out. And now we can see her floor. So, progress! I know I look and probably sound a little exhausted, and I know the work today, over the past couple of days even, has been mucky and grimy. I've been in and amongst mould for the past few days. It's not great. And if you have watched this far, you have our genuine thanks. Thank you so much. Please give us a like and subscribe. Make sure, please, to press the little bell because we are on a 2-week schedule. We have some bonus videos as well that we want to bring out in and amongst our regular 2-week uploads. So hopefully you'd want to be notified for those. Leave a comment as well because we really love interacting with you guys. The help that you gave us on the last video was invaluable and we really do appreciate it. And that's that. This has been episode 12. Thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! That was used as... I think that might have been used as a railing for the cupboard. It fits perfectly.